AM 560. The Answer.
Minneapolis. Much government money is stolen through that Democrat dunghole. Ugh. Carrie, Crown Point.
Shaun, I was so excited to hear you had Mary Graybar on again today because since she was last on, I read To Kill a Mockingbird again. And it's got...
Harper Lee, right?
Yep.
Harper Lee?
It's 1938. So they are comparing and contrasting in the classroom Hitler and the United States. And the teacher writes down, we're a democracy. And it's just hilarious because this is where it starts.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly.
It is where it starts. But if you look at what, he was 9 years old when FDR died, right? So it's a throwback, and he's writing it on Rumor of a Child. And he talks about these programs that were riddled in insanity and fraud and waste and abuse. And they're told to this day as if they were successful. But there are it's world-renowned economists for generations have said what FDR kept the Depression in America longer than almost any other country because of
Harper
FDR.
Lee defends FDR in the book. They attacked the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if today she would get canceled because she says how good the Jewish people are. And, today Democrats don't want to do that. They want to attack Israel. It's just hilarious how when you reread something and really understand.
Think about FDR.
Really
one of the big things, his own vice president said, what you're doing is insane. What you're doing is crazy. And, and if you talk to Democrats outside of Broadview right now, the gray pubic hair mafia, they'll tell you that he's the greatest president in the world. It's amazing how you can just rewrite the narrative. And yet all of these programs that he implemented, every single one of them unconstitutional, which is why he packed the Supreme Court. I mean, and not to mention that scumbag, what was it, Hugo Black? That son of a gun should have got the Mussolini. Thank you, Carrie.
You talk about him in the book, too.
Scumbag. Thank you very much. I judge, therefore I am. Andrew, Cherville.
What's the difference between an illegal alien and a space alien?
I don't have to give insurance to the space alien.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. And I don't think they're going to put that space alien behind an 18-wheeler and he's going to kill 3 people because he's high on some sort of Sikh Indian marijuana.
You probably wouldn't. Right. Hakeem Jeffries was never mashing the monster with the space alien.
Oh, dun. Now, Andrew, I hope you have a good weekend. May no Indian truck driver be behind you in traffic. Mitchell, Des Plaines.
Hey, Shaun, I don't think you know this, but you probably do. FDR was the governor of New York, and he could not stand Hoover. So he wanted to exploit what I call the Great Depression by shorting, starting with the big crash. And what he did is he called his good friend Joseph P. Kennedy, who later was meant to be part of the SEC for a reason, and that was the reason for the Great Crash, because that was what they used as leverage to make Hoover look feckless inept. And that's why he was so super aggressive. FDR, what people don't realize is that not only was he an elitist, him and Eleanor would sit with other prime ministers, and they all crafted this. They all planned this way ahead of the game. And the reason why Joseph P. Kennedy is part of the story, Shaun, is because he knew how to short all these other countries. And that's why he was made in charge of the SEC, which you're very familiar with. Do you hear what I'm saying here, Daddy-O?
I hear it. Well, of course I do. But and it's really funny, too, when you look at the 55-year overlap of John D. and FDR, and you look at the innuendo of you better bribe me or I'm taking all your money. It's a very, very interesting relationship. And then you see Rockefeller's kids go into politics. Well, they were Bush Republican scum. Nelson and the other step and fetch son, John.
He was the vice president to Ford. Nelson Rockefeller was VP to Ford.
It's hard to say if Nelson did as much or greater damage than FDR. It really is. Sure. And you notice how you never hear him? Where do you hear anybody talk about the policies of Rockefeller? Because what Rockefeller understood, he was so unliked because he was so filthy rich. You got to understand, it's trillions in today's money. So he used the step and fetch power of corruption, and that's why you listen to Nixon before he was elected. After he's elected, they have the Park Avenue Summit with Nelson Rockefeller and you look at Nixon's policies. Nixon would have never, he didn't talk about the EPA. That's Nixon. He didn't talk about the Department of Ed. That's Nixon. Carter just signed it. All those conglomerates, OPEC, OSHA, all of it, Nixon. Because Nixon was a greedy bastard. He'd never made an honest dollar in his life. He had Prescott Bush as a backer. He wanted the payoff. And Nelson said, you do this, you'll get the payoff. That's why I love having on guys who worked for Nixon, and I try to take it easy. But Nixon was a $2 whore in a $5 world. He'd have hit his mother in the face with a shovel for $5.
Well, he was. You got to understand, he was a Quaker from Yorba Linda, California. Had no money. Half his family died of TB.
Yeah, it's a hard story.
And by the way, he got himself through Duke. He went to Whittier College. I mean, I'll tell you one thing. I always felt bad for Nixon because he was very brainy, very cerebral. But I'll tell you what you're picking up on Nixon is that he didn't come from big. He told the press, I can't compete after the 60 election with the Kennedys. They had more resources.
And don't forget, he knew he got robbed in 60 by Chicago Mafia Democrats. He knew it. And he said, no, it'll tear the country apart. There's a lot to like about him, but I cannot go over all of the entities that he created that to this day, up until Trump, strangled us and destroyed business. That's all because of Rockefeller, who, he's the founder of this green energy bull dung. That's why he had Nixon with the EPA. He knew he had to drive up and sell the bull dung of oil prices. If the Rockefeller didn't have any kids, if John D. Rockefeller didn't have any kids, this country would be 5 times as rich as it is. Thank you very much, Mitchell, for aggravating the dung out of me. Tom, Naperville.
Hey, how you doing? Two things. I love your commercials. I actually can feel the sand between my toes as I watch you.
Oh, you're talking. Tom, we get a lot of hate for that, but I love it because you know who gives us hate, and you know what I love. It actually makes it easy now. When you get the Democrats that lie to my call screener and they get on, you want to know what it is? Here's the difference. They all want something for nothing.
Okay, I want to say some things. Okay, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. That's it.
Okay. How many people are on the beach? Like 8 people filming you, showing the lighting for you?
Nobody, dude. It's me holding a Samsung. What are you, nuts? It's me holding a Samsung.
Good job. Don't let it go to your head. Good job. That's one. Number 2, you know what? I'll tell you. I cannot believe the guy over in Virginia running for Attorney General, what a barometer of the left. Just don't say anything of what he said. What does that tell you? Holy Manoa.
But Tom, this is the psyche of what we're dealing with. These are people that are financially raping their neighbor. So they're violent by nature. Their philosophy is a philosophy of taking. So what do people do who want to take your money? They will rob you. They will beat you. They will cut your throat. That doesn't shock me in the least. That's how each and every one of these Democrats feel. They just dress it up. They just dress it up with their what are those shoes, the Birkenstock shoes and the shirts that their grandfather left them with the trust fund. That's all it is. But those are the same rat bastards each and every time that will kill their fellow man.
The rats.
Yeah, they are.
Love you. Bye.
Thank you, Tom. Right back at you. And it's funny to hear so much of Chicago. I do love it because it is a laughingstock of the country. I do love this Chip Roy, though. There's something about him, even though when I disagree with his policies, I like him.
They weaponized the government against the American people. And now they want to turn around and say they're going to have a No Kings rally? This is the dying breath of a bankrupt party, in my humble opinion. All too happy to shut down the government and then have a Chicago teacher walk around with this symbol against her neck.
He's talking about that big fat ass, Lucy Martinez, with the rolls. Don't wear gray. If you're 320 pounds and you sweat in a meat locker, don't wear gray. You look like Rocky running up the stairs with the sweat marks all around your baloney.
Tell me how that's appropriate. Where are the Democrats that are crying out about how horrific that was? And by the way, where are the Democrats who are calling out the Attorney General in Virginia for calling on the death of children of a political opponent? Where is Abigail Spanberger, one of our former colleagues running for governor of Virginia? Do they not have the courage to call out fellow Democrats?
But they'll never really show up, Chip. That's what you have to understand. That's what I understood when I had the cigar store. Happiest day of my life when I shut that down because of the Elmhurst government. Thank you, guys. You scumbags. Thank you. But they never show up themselves. They're cowards. And their philosophy is the philosophy of a coward. They don't want to do anything. They want the government to steal your money in the name of their needs, called entitlements. 312-642-5600.
Make money, smoke cigars, and live free on the Shaun Thompson Show on AM 560. The Answer.